Conditionals. Okay, that and the conditional is what is an if statement. How to use an if statement. That is condition. So that is the conditional statement we'll use in this session. How is it done? You write if statement, then code, and if. So this does not have else, isn't it? So we can also have if and else statement. That is if statement, that is if this condition is true, then code 1. Are you all following me? Then else will not be in the same indentation. Indentation is very important when you are dealing with conditionals. If your indentation is wrong, you won't know because you are not running the code, but the teacher will not give you your mark. Is that understood? Else is in the same indentation with then, not with if. Unlike Python, where else will be in the same indentation with if. It is not the same in pseudocode. Is this understood? And you don't end the if. When you end the if, then if you end the if before writing else, there is an error. Okay? Else, code 2. Can you see my indentation? Code 2. Then you can now end if. So this is the structure for if-else statements. If statements, then the code will be inside the indentation of what? Of then. Are you all following me? Else will be in the same line with then. Code 2 will be inside. Then you end your if. So that is for if and else statements. So the structure for when you have else if is if statements, then code 1, right? So if I have an else if, it should be in the same indentation with then, right? So that should be else if statements code 2. Oh, sorry, then first. Else, if statements, then, please don't forget, code 2. Is that understood? When you are done, you have to end this if. So end if, then you end the outer if, and if. So you can have this as much as possible. I hope this is understood. In Python, so let's take a look at what this code does. Variable input, enter the word push or pop or exist. Okay, you can also put dot lower if you like. Now, variable is equal to variable dollar. Whatever is inputted, you turn it back to what? To lower. Anything that's in any case, you turn it to lower case. If the input is push, since you have turned to lower case, so you must compare it to what? With the lower case. Is that understood? Or else it will always be false. Now, if it is push, you print go away. If it is pop, you print come inside. If it is exist, you print what? Close door. So let's run that and give it an input. So let's enter push. HH. Can you see? HH is capital PU. Go away. Can you see that? Go away. Go away push. So why is it writing go away push? Who can tell me? Oh, there is a variable here that I printed here. Okay, good. Now go away. Let me do that again. So let's run this code and type push. Then this will print go away. So let's run it again and type in pop. Come inside. Let's run it again and type in exit. Then close the door. Okay. So this is how this works. We understand that. So let's write this in its pseudocode equivalent. Okay. Let's write this in its code using this format that I've just explained now. Now we need a variable to hold the input, right? Which is a what? The input is a string. Is that correct? So we need to declare that. So let's declare that. So we write declare word as what? As string. Is this understood? Okay, good. What is the next thing? We need a variable to hold the lower character, right? So we can write that declare, let's say var as character. Then I write input. Input first. Is it input first or output first? Because we need to display a message, isn't it? We need to display a message before asking the user to what? To give an input. So we need an output first, isn't it? Are you following me? Then I write output. Output is what? Enter the word push, pop, or exit. Then we now write inputs. Okay. So this will request for the input, right? So where are we putting it to? Word. So let's save it into word. Is this understood, everyone? So word is now the input that has been received from the user. So we now need to convert this word to what? To a lowercase, isn't it? And save it into what? Into variable. Then we say var is equal to one function that we use to convert to lower. Then we write to lower. Let's check it again. Insert to lower. Understood? Now, good. To lower. What are we converting to lower? Word. Are you all following me? Then we want to check, after writing that, what is the next line? The next line of code is what? To check if it is push, right? If variable is equal to what? Push, right? So write if var is equal to push. Then, okay, then what? Output go away. I hope this is understood, right? Then the else should be with the then, isn't it? In the same indent. Else is an else if, then if. So this is not a nested if, it's just else if. Okay? Else if what? Variable is equal to pop. Variable is equal to pop. Okay? Then what? Come inside. So output come inside. Is this understood? Now we have another else if, so we don't end it because it's not a nested if. Okay, we don't end this because it's not a what? A nested if. Then what is the next thing? Else if variable is equal to what? Exit. Then that also comes with what? With this then. Else if. Is this understood? Don't take it out. It's not a nested if. Else if what? Variable is equal to exit. Then output. So then, if it is exit, what does it print? Should I write my output with then? No. So output, close the door. Is this understood? Then you end each of the if statements. So you end the first if, right? I should have it here with this indent of if, right? Then this should be end if for the first if. For the second if should be with this indent, end if. Then the third if should be with what? with the last if indent, right? So let me bring this down. Should be with this indent. And if this understood? So this close with this indent, this close with this indent. Is this understood? So those indents are very important. Any question? And you can use a pencil just to make a dot. Yeah, to guide you. Most especially if you are writing on the other page. Maybe that page cannot contain it. Then you want to continue on the other page. So you can dot that dot and show it in the other page so that the examiner can understand what you have done. Do you understand? If this statement is true, this is executed and this is checked. When this is checked, if it is true, this will be executed. If it is not true, nothing happens. But if this is false, only this will be what? Will be checked. Is that understood? If it is true, this is executed. If not, it just goes away. So let's run this now. Let's run this to see the output. So let's type in, what should we type in? Exit. So that the first one is false, isn't it? What does it say? Close the door. Is that understood? Now, when we run the second one, we are going to have a problem. Why we have a problem? Not really a problem, because if I write push now, the second one will not be executed because variable is not pop, it's only true. It's only push. So second one is not what? Executed. If I want the second one to execute, that means I need another input here before writing this if statement, isn't it? So that means I need to write that variable is equal to input again. Yes, so before writing pop, I need to write this. So let me just write dot lower directly. Is this understood? So it will check for another input. It can compare it twice. Is this understood? When you run this, then I have push. So push means it will print go away and request for another input. If I write exit, it will not even do all this. It will just go to elif and just execute what? Is that understood? So if I write exit, for example, exit. Now, variable is not push, it is false. So all this will not be executed. It just go to what? To elif. Then it executes close the door.
So it didn't run elif because if was already true. The first if variable is push. So because this was true, so it doesn't run the elif.
Yes. So if this is exit now, it just writes close the door. Do you understand? Because this if variable is false, only this will now be executed. But if I run this again, and type in push, so elif is now is for it won't execute this at all. So if I type in push, then it prints go away. So go away is now executed. So because go away is executed, it now requests for another input because this input is requested if this is true. After it requests for this input, whatever you now check, it now check if it is pop or not. If it is pop, it prints come inside. If it is not pop, whether it is exit or push or anything, it prints what? Stand up. So even if I write my one, it is not pop, it prints stand up. Even if I write exit, it is not pop, it prints stand up. Is this understood? So let's now write this as what? As a pseudocode. Okay, now we've declared word and what? And variable. Are you all following me? Output, enter the word push, pop, or what? Or exit. Input, word. This word has been saved as the input has been saved as what? As variable word. Then we'll convert to what? To lower. Are you all following me? We'll convert to lower. Now, after doing this, what is the first thing? If variable is equal to what? Push. Are you all following me? So we write if variable is equal to push. Then Are you all following me? Then output what? Go away. Output go away. I hope this is understood. What is the next thing? Then we have request for another what? Input, isn't it? Request for another input, but display a message first, isn't it? Then we write output again. Output. Enter the word push, pop, or what? Exists. Is this understood? Now you have to receive the input into the variable. So input. Everything is inside the if statement, isn't it? Input word. And then we'll convert this to what? To lower. So we write that variable is equal to what? To lower word. Is this understood, everyone? Do you understand? Okay, good. Now what is the next thing? We now check if the input is now what? If it is pop, right? Then we write if variable is now equal to pop, then what? Output come inside. Output come inside. We can't close this if because we have an else statement, isn't it? Then we have else in the indent of then. Else. Else what? Stand up. So output stand up. Is this understood? So because this if is not is alone, it's a nested if. So we need to what? We need to close this if. Is that understood? But we can't close the outside if. We need to close this if. If it was not a nested if, we wouldn't have done that. We will have closed when we are done, just like the previous example. Is this understood? So because it's a nested if, then we write what? End if. Is this understood? Then after end if, then what is the next thing? Then we now have another else if in the previous if, isn't it? If the previous if was not, we have this else if. Then that should be where? That should be with this then, isn't it? With this then indentation. Is this understood? It should be with this then indentation. Hope you guys understand this. Then I bring this indentation down. Then I have else if. Indentation is very important, guys. Don't forget. It is very important. Else if. If what? Variable is equal to what? Exists. If variable is equal to exists. Then what do I have here? Then output. What do I output now? Close the door. Close the door. Is that understood? Then are we done with this else if? We are done with, so we can now close this if statement, right? Then I close this as end if, isn't it? Then I go back to close the what? The original if statement here. So you can do this in the exam. This dot, it guides you to prevent you from making mistake. Is that understood? Then I close the end if. So which is now exactly equivalent Python code for this. I hope this is understood. We can have up to 20 of these if statements. So if I want to write that in pseudocode, even in Python or pseudocode, it might take a long line to be written. And we have to end each of them one after the other. Is that understood? So to prevent having a long code to execute this, we can use a case. Is that understood? We can use a case for all these instead of writing them one by one like we have it here. Okay, so how do we use a case? So if you go to this document, case statements allow one out of several branches of code to be executed depending on the value of a variable. So case statement is written at, then you write case of the variable, the identifier. Then you have value 1, value 2, value 3, then you end case. So how do you write this? It's instead of having this if statements that I have here as long as it was. So what is the variable? The variable is what? The variable is VAR, right? Okay, let's write a code to implement this. Okay, let's write a code to implement this. So that means I need to declare a string, right? Isn't it? Is that correct, guys? Okay, good. So declare VAR as a string. Then we output to the user, right? Then output. What are you outputting? Enter your choice. Okay. So what is the next thing? Then convert it to lower, isn't it? Then that means this is input first. We haven't inputted, right? So input VAR. So the input is saved in what? In this variable. Then I write that variable is equal to what? To lower VAR. Is this understood? Okay, good. Now, if this is this, so instead of writing if, since you have a lot of if statements, is that understood? Since you have a lot of if statements, then I can write switch, then going back to this will not be given to you in exam. So you have to write case of variable. Is this understood? Then you write case of VAR. Is this understood? Case of variable. Then after writing that, then you have value 1. And what is the value 1? The first if statement. Is this understood? The first if statement. And what is the first if statement? If it is what? Push. Then you write push. That is the value 1. Then after writing that, what do you write next? A full column, right? Full column, yeah. You mean the push? Okay, there should be an indent. Okay, thank you for correcting that. There should be an indent. So this is push. And what is the next thing? The statement if it is push, isn't it? What is the statement? The statement is what? Go away. So that means output go away. Is this understood? Then what is the next condition? Pop. P-O-P. Then what is the statement? Output what? Output come inside. Come inside. Okay. Okay, I don't need this code. Let me just comment this out. Okay. Then what is the next thing? Push again. Push again. Then what is the statement? Output stand up. Then what is the next thing? Exit. So what is the output? Close the door. So if you have as much conditions as possible, this is how you just write them. Just continue to write. Is this understood? Even if you have 25 conditions, just continue to write the conditional what and the statement. Is this understood? Okay, good. So when you are done, then you end what? You end case. So this is better than this structure, isn't it? It is much more better than this structure because this structure is so long and you may even forget what to end if, isn't it? And you may even forget the indentation where you're supposed to end your if or where you're supposed to put your code. So when you have an if statement as long as this, just use the case. Is that understood? So this is much more easier. Your question?
How do we, if we have a nested if, how do we write it in case?
No, that means if you have a nested if, maybe let's take for example, else if variable is pop, print come inside, then let's now request, okay, let me put it here. If it is push, let me request for another input, isn't it? Are you all following me? Then write that if var is equal to, let's say, AR, for example. Okay, then I write print from Nigeria. Okay, then else. Okay, else if variable is equal to region. What do we print if it is region? Print scare them. Do you understand? And if I have else if variable is equal to Adonias, we should print what? Print be a good boy. Okay, then else if variable is equal to Yasin, print he is a nice guy. Is that true? Is that true? So you can see that we have a lot of if outside. We even have a nested if that are a lot as well. We can also use case for this as well. That is case inside case. Do you understand? So let me come back to this code. And what do I have that? I have that at what? At push, isn't it? So then I can move all this pop and end case down. Still in the same indentation, can you see? Still in the same indentation. So then I write case, that is when it is push. Then what? Then case of, oh, no, not case of. I need to receive the input first, right? Okay, good. Because it's a statement in this if statement, in this push, when it is true, it's a statement, right? Then I write that output, please enter your choice. Please enter your name. Is this understood? Then write input var. So this value is now saved as what? The input is now saved in this variable. Is this understood? Then after writing this, then I write case of var. Can you see that now? So writing an if in if. So if I have this now, then I can now write the each of the there's no full column after writing case of. Just case of var. Then what is the first condition? The first condition there is what? Is Aya, right? So Aya. So what will we print? From Nigeria. So output. Okay, indentation before writing Aya, right? Okay, good, thank you. Aya output from Nigeria. Is this understood? Now, what's the next thing? Region output scare them. What is the next thing? Adonias output, be a good boy. Understood? And the next is what? Yasin output, he is a nice boy. So then you end what? You end case. So that means after taking these inputs and convert to lower, if the input is push, output go away. Then also output enter your name. Then also receive the input and check which of them is the input. Output, end, and leave. It leaves the entire. But if after receiving, check if it is push. If it is not push, check if it is pop. So all this is not executed. Is that understood? And you can also have if statement inside this. Instead of using case, you can also write if as well. Maybe it's just one if. You can also write if. It doesn't matter. You can also write case. Just make sure anything you're writing is inside what? Is inside the intention of what? Of push. Is this understood? Good. Is your question answered now? Oh, good. Thank you.